Attention Maine exhibitors, please be making your way. We will be starting the show at 3:20. Please be making your way to the show arena.
Open Maine, we are about ready to get started here. About 3 more minutes. If we can get classes 4, 5, 9, and 14 to the makeup area. Classes 4, 5, 9, 14 to the makeup area, please. Hard Luck Acres and Jan Marmee, we need you in class 4. We need you in class 4. We're about to get the main show underway. Well, nice to have you all with us here this afternoon as we get this open Maine-Anjou show underway. Ladies and gentlemen, how about we give a big old OH to a pretty good football player sitting down at that end of the stands. Ladies and gentlemen, Cardale Jones. Yeah. Cardale, nice to have you with us. He's like, I'm super embarrassed. You want to show a calf? Yeah, he's a lot bigger when he stands up. Cardale, we are so happy that you came to Ohio State and wish you nothing but the best in the NFL. We are underway with the Open Maine show. This is Class 4 late junior heifer calves. Class 5, you should be in the makeup area. Class 9, 14, 15, you might as well be in the, and 16, you might as well head to the makeup area as well. Yeah.
Sunglow Full Body is the most versatile product in our cattle offering, as it can be fed as a creep, as a receiving feed, when holding, or whenever added bulk and body are needed. Feed Full Body with absolute confidence, as this product has taken the cattle barn by storm.
Nice way to start the main show here. And I think the heifer calf that young lady is going to lead and set up here is real nice. Talk about a really cowy type heifer. She's big and bold bodied, really good in terms of her top line and out of her hip, still offering a fresh and highly quality look. For right now, it's just her ability to stay maintained in terms of her build and complete look. Really like the balance of her to go ahead and start. Young man, the cowboy hat's going to be second, probably the neater fronted, cooler necked heifer of the pair. She just gets a little bit smaller in comparison to her, but I think a heifer that's good in terms of her feet and legs. You like her center body. I think when that one grows, and she's going to have quite a bit of future. Same thing goes for the young man here in the blue. He's doing an excellent job. Very long and extended type of heifer. Smooth in terms of her shoulder and good in terms of the flex of her feet and legs. Maybe one that just gets a little bit piecier today, wants to pull in that loin and get up in her tail head. But I think that's very minute in comparison to the quality of future that she has. Young lady coming in next. Again, another really good-chested, long, extended type of female that's got some foot size and bone. It's just today maybe one that wants to break in terms of right behind her shoulder, get up in that spine, not read as comfortable there out of her hip, but a very high-quality class. Really like that one to go ahead and start. Congratulations.
Placing in Class 4 late junior heifer calves, winning the class 545, Blake Herdman, Hillsboro. Second, 543, Connor Yoakum, Hillsboro. Third, Jan Marmee of Woodsfield. And in fourth, 544, Hard Luck Acres, Thornville. This is Class 5 early junior heifer calves.
Just a single entry here for the young lady, but as soon as that one gets stopped and relaxes, young lady does a good job of getting her top down and offering a really neat look there from the profile. That one's sharp looking in terms of her head and neck. She's good in the angle and point there to her shoulder. Well, coming down and more than enough foot and bone and power there out of her upper hip. I love the sweep to her center rib. I think that's a very nice single entry. Congratulations.
A single entry in Class 5, entry 547, Darby Ayers, Irwin, Ohio. Haley Cornett, we need your early spring heifer in Class 15. Haley Cornett, we need your early spring heifer in Class 15. Ready now to select the Division I calf champion and reserve. Class 9, 14, 15, and 16, you should all be in the makeup area.
Just two classes here out of this division, but I think both really good class winners and a nice second there out of that second class. I think there's some differences here in terms of size and type and kind. I know what one I like to go ahead and win. I know what one I want to follow through with reserve, but let's go ahead and congratulate these kids first. I'll go pick you a champion reserve.
Your Division I calf champion out of Class 5, the early junior heifer calf, 547, Darby Ayers. The reserve champion out of Class 4, 545, Blake Herdman.
Young man's got a really nice fall heifer here. Big-footed, heavy-structured, stout-made kind of female. You love her body shape and how good she is in terms of her condition. She's not the prettiest in terms of her front end, but certainly matches the kind of mass and dimension that she has from shoulders back. Really like that heifer. Congratulations to you.
Early season heifer calf, also your Division II senior calf champion, entry 548, Asa Minton Peebles.
Really nice April heifer here. The young man's going to lead around and profile for us. I think this thing is so fresh and good in her condition. Love her presentation and how crisp she is in her lines. She's good in her body type. You like how sound and functional she is as she gets out and goes. I think she balances up extremely well. Excited to get her back out here later on.
Single entry, late spring yearling heifer, entry 549, Hudson Drake, Chillicothe.
Really nice class to go ahead and have here for 3 head. And I think young man here in the cowboy hat does a really nice job. You started this one there at the surface. You love her foot size and bone. And if you followed me at all today, you know they got to have some power. They got to have some density there at the surface. And she does both of that. She's awesome bodied. She's really cowy in her makeup. Maybe on the tick side of moderate, I'd say, when you project her out into production. But you really like the cow power and just functional production value that she's going to have. A little bit more elegant heifer here that's going to be in second, an up-headed, good-shouldered female. You love the sweep to her center rib and how fresh she is there. Maybe one that gets a little bit frailer, longer toed there at the surface, but you love how good she is out of her hip. Young man does a really nice job of getting her stuck. heifer that comes in third, you probably like her the best in terms of her head and neck and throat. Maybe one that doesn't come quite as attractive out of her hip and hind leg, wants to set more upright in terms of her pastern, but a heifer that's good-bodied, fresh in her condition. I think all three of those female have a lot of value when you get them out into production and see what they can produce.
Placing in Class 15 early spring heifers went into Class 552, Colin Federick of Napoleon. Second, 551, Mason Jolliffe, Kenton. Third, Haley Cornett, Hillsboro.
Very highly presented, nice female here for a single entry. The young lady's doing a good job. The heifer's wanting to fight her just a little bit, but I think you study in on the pieces this one has, the way she can tie so good there to the top side of her shoulder. She's level and calm there, complete there in terms of her top line, good out of her hip. I think she comes with a little bit more chest, maybe not that overwhelming sweep to her center rib, but I think a big-footed, heavy-structured, fresh-looking kind of female. Does a nice job getting stuck out here. Congratulations.
Single entry in Class 16 junior yearling heifers, entry 553, Hannah French, Wakeman. Ready now to select Division III junior heifer champion and reserve champion. We need classes 25 and 28. We need the bulls into the makeup area, please. Bring your main bulls to the makeup area.
Get in here to our last division here for the main female show, and I think all four of these heifers are extremely nice when you break them down. I think they're all functional. They're good at the surface. They have some power. They have some look. I think there's some differences. I think there's a heifer out here probably just sets the standard for quality. And then I think there's one that follows suit in her type and kind very closely, maybe just not the same league. But let's go ahead and put your hands together for this group of kids.
Your Division III Junior Heifer champion is out of Class 14, 549, Hudson Drake Chillicothe. The reserve champion out of Class 16, Hannah French Wakeman. We need the Maine Bulls into the makeup area. Maine-Anjou Bulls, we need you in the makeup area. Classes 25 and 28. In the show ring now, showing for Grand Champion Maine-Anjou female.
We get back out here for your overall Maine female, and what a lineup here. Like I said when we got done with the keys, I think, you know, for the lower amount of numbers, I think the quality is extremely good. I think you can look at all 5 of these heifers out here and find pieces you really, really like and can appreciate and go ahead and utilize in your own programs, and that's certainly what it's about. That's why we breed cattle. That's why we're all here. We're just here to make them better, and that's what's exciting. So, again, let's go ahead and congratulate these guys. We'll go ahead and quick pick you a top 2.
Grand Champion Maine-Anjou, your Division III champion Hudson Drake. The reserve grand champion, the reserve Division III, 553, Hannah French. Abigail Toole, we need your yearling bull in Class 28 to the makeup area, please.
Really nice single entry here. We have a February bull calf of this spring, and I think you start to study his structure. He's made really good from the ground up. He's good in terms of his angles, his foot size, bone, offers a real neat look in terms of his head and neck. I think, for a February calf, you maybe want to see just a little bit more of him, but I think his skeleton's extremely nice and offers a neat look up front. Congratulations.
Single entry in the early junior bull calf class, 705, J.N. Marmee, Woodsfield. Maintainers, we're going to get your classes started as soon as we take some pictures. Say 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock for maintainer, for the maintainer show.
Two really nice yearling bulls here. Young lady up here, I'm going to keep them just the way they are, is going to go ahead and start. And he does so. I mean, that's a big-footed, heavy-structured, really nice made type of bull. And you get right on top of him. He's big and square down his top, big out of his pin set. He comes at you with some chest width and body shape and offers such a nice skeleton in terms of his head, neck, and shoulder construction. Still sets back in front of that knee. Really like that bull to go ahead and win. It's not to take away from the bull here in second. You love his length of spine, how level he is in terms of his top line. Maybe a calf just comes with a bit extra set there to his rear too. Maybe we want to give him a little bit more attractive set there out of his hip and hind leg. But I think that's a nice pair to go 1 and 2 in that class. We'll go ahead and take another look and go ahead and pick you a champion reserve Maine bull. So let's go ahead and give these guys a big round of applause for their bulls.
Placing in Class 28 Junior Yearling Bulls, 554 wins the class. Travis Oliver, Kim Bolton. Second, 555, Abigail Tuel of Amanda. Selecting now the grand champion bull, Travis Oliver, 554. The reserve grand champion bull is out of Class 25, 705, J.N. Marmee of Woodsfield.
Maintainer show. Love the feet and legs on this female. The way she gets out and go and flexes there in terms of her joint work is extremely good. She offers a really fresh and good outline there to her head and neck and good out of her hip. Maybe gets a bit drier there in terms of her front quarters. That's getting picky on a real nice cow. She got a very powerful heifer calf here alongside her. Big, stout, good out of her upper hip. Looks like she's going to be made a lot like her mom. Congratulations to you guys.
Champion cow-calf pair, entry 717, Cole Hillman.
It's a rosette.
This will be first call for Class 47 late spring yearlings. Class 47 late spring yearlings, first call to the makeup area.
Really nice class here with two entries. Young man in the cowboy hat. It's got a really nice heifer here, a long and extended. The way she ties her head and neck there out of the top side of a smooth shoulder. She's good and level in terms of her spine. And like the foot size and bone that she offers, just the overall capacity and dimension and power that she still packs, being that elegant up front is very, very intriguing. Heifer that comes here in second, maybe even deeper there in terms of her center rib, a little bit more soup there in her underline. Maybe doesn't come with the same big and square hip or power as the one that precedes her, but still a very sound and functional type of heifer that's deep-sided and has a lot of substance to her. Congratulations to the both of you.
Placing in Class 37, Maintainer late junior calf, winning the class 706, Ridge Windling, Butler, Ohio. Second, 707, Hard Luck Acres, Thornville. Ready now for Class 38, Maintainer early junior calves. Ryan Bond. Ryan Bond, we need your late spring yearling in class 47 to the makeup area.
Nice class of 4 here, and I don't think there's one you can just particularly land on. I think there's pieces in each of them that can be appreciated. For me, I just like the cow power and just skeletal build and comfort here found in the young man that's going to lead off. I think she's just the most comfortable in terms of her feet and legs. She's not the most elegant in terms of her throat and the way she attaches. I just think that's a good made complete cattle there that's going to start. The extra pieces and bells and whistles maybe coming the young man and the cowboy hat here in second. That's a longer, more extended female, square and bigger there out of her hip. She maybe today just doesn't pull all those pieces together, but she's a skinny green kind of female that I think has all the potential in the world to go ahead and be competitive. A powerful female here in third. She's the boldest, the biggest out of her pins, the most shape and dimension. Follows that through with more than enough foot and bone there at the surface. Today, she's just a little bit rounder there to the point of her shoulder. Not quite as long and level out of her hip. Young lady's having a little tough time with her, but she's doing a really nice job. Congratulations. White female that's going to come in next. Very stout and good-bodied heifer too as well. She gets out and she moves functional in terms of the flexibility. Maybe just doesn't relax quite as much in their spine. Wants to open up to the top of her shoulder. But a really nice class of 4. Congratulations.
Placing in class 38, maintainer early junior calf, winning the class 557, Cole Hilleman, Wakeman. Second, 559, Max Eichhorn, Lexington. Third, 558, Natalie Eichhorn, Lexington. Fourth, 556, Madison Huck, Louisville. Ready now to select the Division I calf champion and reserve. Class 47, you should be in the makeup area. This will be first call for class 48 early spring heifers. First call, class 48 early spring heifers to makeup.
We get out here for our division, and you got 4 heifers that are certainly different in type and kind, and they're going to all have different endpoints and degrees of maturity as we move on into the fall and come next summer, and each of them are going to have some success. For me right now, I know what that I like today. That doesn't mean that someone else can't do something different here in a week or 2 weeks or a couple months down the road as they mature. But today, I think I like them like I'm going to go pick them here right now. So let's put your hands together and give these kids a round of applause.
Your Division I calf champion out of Class 38, 557, Cole Hilleman, Wakeman. Division I Reserve Champion out of Class 37, 706, Ridge Wendling Butler. We need marshal caps I'm just announcing what I'm told.
Nice fall heifer that we have today. Maybe wants to fight the halter just a little bit. But that's a good-footed, heavy-structured type of female. Really bold-bodied and big out of her upper hip. Stands with some chest width and width there at the surface. Realizing she has got genuine power and dimension all the way through. Maybe not the most extreme in terms of her front end, but I think she matches up and balances very well from there back. Congratulations.
Senior or Division II senior calf champion is 561 Reese Toller Bidwell. Coming in now, Class 47 late spring yearlings. Class 48, 49, you should be in the makeup area. Class 48 and 49, you should be in the makeup area. Again, want to thank the Ohio Junior Maine and Key Royalty, Hannah Ziegler and Madison Jolliffe, and Princesses Reagan Beneker and Kendall Davies for helping us out here in the show ring today. Oh, Emma, I didn't mean to overlook you. My apologies.
Full Tank is the tried and true, high-quality pelleted citrus pulp supplement from Sunglow, with added probiotics that make it more efficient than beet pulp alone. Feed to cattle when holding, slowing maturity, or whenever fill is needed. Purebred heifer feeders are finding it incredibly useful for keeping cattle fresh during their long show careers.
I think a really good class here. I think it's fairly difficult as you get going through it. There's very big differences in most of these heifers. I think there's different ways to do it. For me, I just like the freshness here in this heifer that's going to go ahead and start. I'll be the first one to admit I don't think she gets out and moves perfectly out of that rear leg. Maybe wants to come up a bit stiffer, a little bit shorter in her step there out of her rear pastured. But that one's freshness. The way she presents there from the side, she's not the most overwhelming in any one area. But I think that one's just complete, balanced, and fresh in her condition. I like her to start. The one that comes in second definitely moves out of her rear skeleton better. From the profile, she fills her stride. She's more flexible at her hock. I don't think she's very genuine in terms of her muscle shape and dimension. I think she's very good haired. I think she's fed very well. I don't see her being as wide and big out of her pins and then down to her lower skeleton. She'll want to pull in that hock ever so slightly when you get right behind her. But I think that's a very nice heifer to go ahead and be second. Now the powerful, intriguing female comes here in third. That's the biggest footed, heaviest structured, most stout female in this class. For me, though, I think she gets a little bit coarser there in terms of her shoulder. She wants to get more forward in that knee. I don't see her being as clean in terms of her joint work, but I think that's a very unique kind of female that can be used as a piece in a breeding program. For me today, I just don't see her moving quite as well to get up into that first hole. Young lady that comes in next, again, I think she's a lot like the second place female in terms of being able to be out and flexible in terms of the way she goes. Today, she's a little bit plainer and shorter there in terms of her front skeleton. Doesn't read quite as genuine there out of her pins. You want to see a little bit more sweep into her rear rib and flank. Heifer that comes in next, a very cowy, heavy structured, stout female. Today, she's just a little heavier condition, gets a bit plainer about that front end. Want to clean up her underline, take away that navel, just to offer a little bit more attractive look there from the side. heifer that comes in next, young lady in the cowgirl hat, maybe just reads a little bit plain today, coming up too short in her step, just needs to get out and move a bit more free and easy to move up any further in the lineup. Really difficult class, but I think the quality follows throughout. Congratulations.
All right, let me get you caught up here on placings from Class 47. Winning the class, entry 564, Tyler Neal, Bellevue. Second, 566, Blake Herdman, Hillsboro. Third, 565, Darby Ayers, Irwin. Fourth, 567, Ryan Bond, Beaver. Fifth, 563, Shayla Graham, Frazeysburg. Sixth, 562, Josie Shane.
Really nice class of breds here. Again, I think a class that offers so many differences. And hey, I'm going to do my best to my ability just to talk you through what I see. For me, this heifer that goes ahead and starts, I think does so fairly handily in my mind. You love her foot size, her bone, her presentation. She gets out and goes as fluid as any that we've seen in this class. I think I wish she'd pick up her leg just a little bit more instead of wanting to drag it. But I think a nice maternal female, very fresh in terms of the way she's presented. I like that one to win. Young man that comes here in second, maybe a little slicker haired female, and what you see is what you get. But I think a very powerful, bold type of heifer offers a really neat look when he gets her stuck and on the standstill. I think she comes with some chest. She's got some condition on her. Maybe doesn't want to move the best there out of her front skeleton. But I think a heifer that maintains her top line. She's good and neat there out of her hip. Sits down on a functional hind leg. I think she's got a lot of cow power in her. I like her to stay second. Heifer I struggled with the most back and forth is this one that's going to stay in third. Really like this heifer. She's big middled. She's big boned. She's good out of her hip. There's just times she maybe wants to look a little bit plain, a little bit shorter coupled. I think she gets a little easier there in terms of her top line. She can just fall apart just at moments while in the ring, but I think she's certainly got some pieces that got to be appreciated while she's out here. Heifer that comes in next, I think really fresh in terms of her condition, probably the freshest in terms of this class. Really like her head and her neck. It's just I think she reads a little bit shorter coupled, maybe a little bit more upright in terms of her shoulder and specifically there in her hock. I think you lengthen her up out of her hip. She'll take a more fluid step, read really fresh and good there on the profile. Heifer that comes in next, she's probably the longest-sided, most extended female in this class. Just a little bit slicker hair today. Doesn't have that same pizzazz look as the ones that precede her. She's probably the frailest boned in this class, but she comes together balanced in terms of her lines. You just maybe want to see a little bit more of her in terms of her heart and forerib. Just see her a little bit wider there when you get going away. But a really nice class there, top to bottom.
Placing in Class 48 early spring heifers, went into Class 570, Kaylee Jennings, Felicity. Second, 573, Blake Neal, Bellevue. Third, 572, Naomi Fenig, Coldwater. Fourth, 568, Hannah Schroeder, Columbus Grove. Fifth, 571, Ella Pytranton, St. Clairsville. This is Class 49. Jaden Richards, Savannah Kinley, Jesse Weir, and Raymond Beneker. You four need to fill out your fitting forms. You need to fill out your fitter forms if you want to participate tomorrow. Again, that's Jaden Richards, Savannah Kinley, Jesse Weir, and Raymond Beneker. The forms are here at the announcer stand.
Sunglow Show Cattle Explosion contains Optiflex for increased weight gain, feed efficiency, and increased carcass leanness on market cattle the final 28 to 42 days prior to their target show. Show Cattle Explosion often works best on heavier conditioned cattle that need that extra punch of nutrition to get them to the winner's circle.
Young man that's going to go ahead and win this class. I think for me, she just comes together the most complete. I'll be the first one to admit she's a little plainer, thicker about her head and neck, comes with some chest, with shoulders back. That's a smooth-shouldered, good-topped, good-hip kind of female. Awesome in terms of the sweep to her center rib. She's functional. She's good at the surface. And of that top few and in this class in general, I think she reads to be the best in terms of her foot shape and size, the way that it's designed there at the surface. I really appreciate that about her. Heifer that comes here in second. You know, there's times you really, really like this one, but then there's some looks where she gets a little bit more awkward. I think she comes with some extra set to her hind leg. She's not as full and dense there in terms of her rear rib and flank, but length, extension, ability to fill her track, and just comfortable in terms of her joint work is what keeps her in that top pair. Heifer that comes here in third, I think it's a stout, powerful, heavy structure type of heifer. The young man gets her set up. I think she offers a really cowy look. For me, she gets going. She gets a little bit more tentative there out of that front shoulder. She wants to come in her knee and toe out just ever so slightly. Just not reading as fluid there in the motion out of her front skeleton. Heifer that comes here and next, you know, there was times I wanted to tie into her, but when you get right on her, I don't think she's as genuine. Right behind her shoulder, you read her in her heart and forerib. There's just not as much heifer there, especially when you study her back into her flank. She comes up in her twist, but a heifer that goes ahead, about meets her stride. She's still flexible in terms of her joint work. Female that comes in next. Standing still, initially I really like this powerful female. She's bold, she's big out of her hip, but you study down at the surface, you read her front toes. She wants to curl in too much, gets a little bit too tight there in her loin, coming up in her tailhead. I just wish she was a bit more comfortable there as she goes and better in terms of her foot design. But I think a really nice class all the way through. Certainly some differences that can be discussed.
Placing in Class 49, Junior Yearlings, winning the class 575, Owen Finnig, Coldwater. Second, 576, Rebecca Pertisat, McDermott. Third, Fulton Kennedy, entry 560. Fourth, 574, Emma Yoakum, Hillsboro. Fifth, 577, Braden Cummings, Hillsboro. This is for the Division III Junior Heifer Champion.
We get out here for this division, and you know, I think we went maybe through three of the most difficult classes assorted today, so I might go ahead and just talk a few things on each of these heifers that win their class. Female that wins out of that first class in this division, like we said then, strictly does so on freshness for me. Said then, maybe don't love her, the way she moves out of her front skeleton, gets a little tighter there in terms of her rear hock. When the young man gets her set up, she offers a really neat look. She's leveling her spine and good out of her hip, just like with the rig she's in right now, keeps that fresh look. Heifer there out of that second class, like we said then, she was so sound. She was the best on her feet and legs. She's good in her body type, highly presented. Not the prettiest in terms of her head and neck, but very maternal in the way she looks from the side, that three-quarter. Still a very powerful heifer. Young man there out of the third class just does so with the cow power, dimension, and just the reality of being good-footed, good in her joint work, and the ability to get out and go with some fluid motion and comfort. That's where she wins out in that class, matching it with some balance and look there from her shoulders back. I think there's a decision to be made. I think all three of these heifers are quite a bit different for me. I'm going to go ahead and select you a champion. We'll get the reserve out here, take another look. But let's go ahead and give them a round of applause.
We need maintainer bulls to the makeup area, please. Maintainer bulls to the makeup area. Your Division III Junior Heifer Champion out of Class 48, entry 570, Kaylee Jennings. Your Reserve Division III out of Class 49, Owen Finnig, Coldwater, entry 575. Ready now to select the Grand and Reserve Grand Champion female. Maintainer bulls, you should be in the makeup area.
We get out here for your final drive for the female show here in the maintainers. I think 3 really nice division winners. For me, when we sorted and got these 3 out here, I think these were the ones that got out and moved the best. They were the soundest. They were the best in terms of body shape, condition, look, and combination of just being functional cattle. That's what allowed those three to go ahead and win their division. Same for those two that came in and were reserved to the division winners. But again, I'll go ahead and select you a champion reserve. Let's put your hands together for a real nice show.
Grand champion female, 570, Kaylee Jennings. Your reserve grand champion, 575, Owen Finnig.
Just two bulls here in this maintainer show, but I think two really nice calves. I really like this February that's going to go ahead and win this bull show for you. Really good footed. You like the flex to his hind leg. When he finally gets set up and profiles for you, he offers a really neat look up front. I like his masculinity, his shape out of his upper hip. Really good bodied, heavy structured kind of bull. Really like that one to win. Longer, more extended look comes here in this bull calf here in second. Going to go on and be your reserve. Very extended, very high tine level and good in terms of his body shape and muscle. Maybe just doesn't quite have the mass as the one that wins. But I think they match up extremely well to go 1 and 2 in the bull show. Congratulations.
Your maintainer grand champion bull, 579, Blake Herdman. The reserve grand champion bull, 578, Delaney Chester. I think that's a wrap.
Thank you for joining us for the Cattle Show at the Ohio State Fair. Brought to you by Paint Valley, Andrews Cattle Company, Show Cattle Connection, Lindy Livestock Photos, VK Show Cattle, 6R Farms, and AMS Online Sales. This has been a Walton Webcasting production, livestock like you've never seen before.